What is going on? It is Counterfools here with my Week 12 game predictions. Um, Same gameplay from last week. I currently don't have Madden. Letting a friend borrow it. Um, I will have a fresh gameplay next week, you can say. So yeah, just ignore the gameplay if it's a big deal. I don't know. Make it like a little podcast or something. I don't know. But yes, last week I was 10-4. Easily could have. Actually, I easily went 12-2, but the Jets won. So yeah. Um, what else? Mark Sanchez's play in the Thanksgiving game. Yeah, that I just wanted to say I have no words for that. That was just terrible and funny, and might be the worst play in NFL history. Um, So yeah, let's just get right into the picks. The first game is the 4-6 Bills versus the 6-4 Colts. Big playoff game here. Could decide. The Bills lose, they get eliminated. Colts win. A little bit easier for them to make the playoffs. Um, Actually, the Bills aren't technically eliminated when they lost, but it'll be a tough road to overcome. But I'm going to go with the Bills with this one. I think they're going to win away. I think they're going to go run heavy again. And they went run heavy against the Dolphins, who are the top 5 defense, run defense, I should say. And the Colts have the 22nd ranked defense. They're going to struggle to stop the run. It might be a big scoring game. It would not surprise me. But I think the Bills win this one because they had the better rushing attack. Even though the Colts are 15th in rushing, we have, Fred Jackson who's coming back this week and C.J. Spiller. So the Colts really just have Vic Ballard. I mean, Donald Brown hasn't really done anything this year. So I'm going to go with the Bills on this game. Next game, 6-4 Seahawks coming off the bye against the 4-6 Dolphins. Seahawks are going to win this game. If the Bills defense can stop the Dolphins like they did on Thursday night, I'm pretty sure the Seahawks are just going to annihilate them. So yeah, I have the Seahawks winning this game. Dolphins probably will not make the playoffs, or have a chance, I should say. They'll end up being 4-7. Start off 4-3. They've lost 3 in a row. Make it 4 in a row now. I think the Seahawks are very, very under radar team at the moment, and they can easily sneak in the playoffs and make it very far. Next, 9-1 Falcons against the 6-4 Buccaneers. Falcons played terrible last week. Buccaneers came back and won. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers in this game. The Falcons look like the same old Falcons. The Falcons' run D is terrible. The Buccaneers' pass defense is terrible, but if they can cause turnovers, that cleans it up a little bit. It's the same thing with the Patriots. The Patriots had terrible secondary, but they caused turnovers, and that's all that really matters. If you cause turnovers when your defense is terrible, let it be, because if your offense could score like the Buccaneers can, it really will not matter. The Falcons have been struggling, so I won't be surprised to see a couple interceptions by Matt Ryan this week. But I see the Buccaneers win this game. I could totally see the Falcons almost losing the division this year. They have a fairly easy ride the rest of the way, except for next week when they play the Saints. So they're in some division territory right now that are must wins. So I'm going with the Buccaneers in the game. Next, we have the 3-7 Bengals, not the Bengals, the 3-7 Raiders versus the 5-5 Bengals. Bengals win today. Not win today, but if they win this game, it puts them, I think, with the Steelers. I'm not sure if they actually played the Steelers yet. They might have 2 games again, which will be very big for the playoffs. Bengals need to make up wins with Big Ben expected to come back next week against the Ravens. it would be nice to come out of this game with a win, which I believe they will because the Raiders' defense is poo-poo. The Bengals pass all over him. AJ Green's going to have another good game, which I don't want because I play him in fantasy, and it's just I'm going to get wrecked if, if the Raiders can't stop him, which they probably cannot. But the Bengals defense is improving every week, but the Raiders could sneak up on them. Carson Palmer playing his old team. I believe that game is at home for the Bengals, so could be an interesting upset there. But I'm gonna think the Bengals. Next, the 6-4 Big Benless Steelers against the 2-8 Browns. The Browns could easily be in the playoff hunt right now. If last week they blew a lead, first 2 weeks they lost. They lost by 1 point in both games. They fight hard. They're a team you do not want to fight if you're playing in Steelers play the Ravens next week. This could easily be a trap game for them. But I'm gonna take the Browns in this game. I think if they can slow down the Cowboys like they did, I think they could totally slow down Charlie Batch. I mean, Joe Hayden coming back next week. Last week they didn't have Joe Hayden, and if with him coming back this week, it's gonna have Charlie Batch straggling because Tony Brown is out and Jericho Cotchery's out. Not many receivers. The Browns' run D's. I haven't watched the Browns game that much this year, so I'm not sure about the run D, but it seems like they've been pretty good. So I had the Browns winning this game. I don't want to say it's upset yet, but it's currently my upset pick. Next game, the 4-6 Titans versus the new look 1-9 Jaguars. Jaguars. It took 11 weeks for teams to expose the Texans secondary, which is terrible, and had to be done with Chad Henne coming off the bench. But I'm gonna go. But and then the Titans, actually, I don't know. I'm confused. Titans are in the playoffs race right now. They are 4-6. Easily could come out of this game with a win and be tied for, they're still in the hunt. But I'm going to say the Jaguars in this game. I think Chad Henne, if he could pass on the Texans, he could definitely pass on the Titans. The Titans will probably run a lot. It's going to be a shootout. It's a very high-scoring game, possibly. But I don't know with Chad Henne because he came in the games early this year where he filled in and did terrible. But he just comes in against the Texans and throws for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. So that leads me to speculate he's going to pass over the Titans. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this game. Next, we have the 7-3 Broncos versus the 1-9 Chiefs. Broncos win this game. There's no way the Chiefs can win this game. Only way I could see them winning this game is if they don't turn the ball over and their offense becomes a juggernaut like it was 2 years ago. Brady Quinn's starting. I highly doubt that. So Broncos win this game. Chiefs will probably end up taking first pick. I think the Jaguars improved a little bit. But the Chiefs are in a very bad position because you really don't want to take a quarterback this year. Because quarterbacks are weak this year. Geno Smith is the top prospect, and I really don't think he's going to be that great of a quarterback. At the moment, I have not seen him play much. We'll have to wait for combine and stuff, but Chiefs need to start thinking about winning some games so they don't have first pick. If they do pick someone, it should be Jarvis Jones. Next, we have a very, very divisional game here. Big divisional game. And playoff game. The 7-3 Bears, with a terrible offensive line, getting wrecked on Monday night. You got to feel bad for Jason Campbell after that. He's probably pissed off. I would be too. Against the 6-4 Vikings, who are going to be probably without Percy Harvin. Bears probably looking for revenge after their defense getting completely wrecked by rookie quarterback last week. He's not a rookie, but, first start. Adrian Peterson will run on the Bears. The Bears' run defense has been falling apart the past couple of games. Vikings defense, Jared Allen, they're gonna have a pass rush. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings in this game. Just the mere fact Cutler does play, but I very might. I could see him getting injured. It's a bad thing that he's going to get injured, but I could see it because Jared Allen is going to have a field day. Brian Robinson is going to have a field day. Kevin Williams is going to have a field day. They're just going to keep blitzing, and that's going to be good for the Bears. The Bears' offensive line is the offensive line, we know it, and we know Cutler makes that offensive line better. So I believe Adrian Peterson will carry the Vikings to victory. And I think the pass rush will too. Next, we have the 8-2 Ravens versus the 4-6 Chargers. Chargers still in playoff contention, but I don't think they have a chance. Really, they're not going to pull their typical, comebacks at the end of the season, or it's not going to happen. That team is terrible. They just lost Jared Gaither for the year. They have an undrafted rookie at left tackle. Darrell Alexander's been the bright spot for them. I think he has like 3 touchdowns already in 2 starts. Chargers are going to be passing a lot. The Ravens are going to allow a lot of passing yards. They're on their 4th and 5th string corners, I believe. Actually, no, Kerry Williams was their slot. Now he's their number 1, so technically they kind of are. But the Ravens win this game. The Chargers are just... They turn the ball over, and if you turn the ball over to the Ravens, you're not going to win games at all. So yeah, I have the Ravens winning this game. I don't really think the Chargers have any chance of winning this game. I think that their defense is falling apart, their offense is falling apart, and the Ravens are going to take advantage of that. Next, we have the game of the week. My game of the week, the 7-2-1 49ers versus the 5-5 Saints. Colin Kaepernick is believed to start this game. It is Saturday morning, so I really don't even have a clue who's going to be. It's been saying Colin Kaepernick week. Harbaugh has been saying he hasn't announced yet, says he doesn't want to for competitive edge. I believe it's Kaepernick, but he could be just tricky. He seems like that guy would be like, oh, it's Alex Smith. A lot of fantasy players are going to be banking on this team because they could fill in for Kaepernick. Like a fantasy owner myself, Big Ben's injured. Got to put somebody in. Kaepernick is perfect against the Saints. This is a really hard game to predict because the 49ers looked like a completely different team with Kaepernick. They looked great on both sides. The Saints let us up big plays. The Bears don't. And they did last week with Kaepernick. The Saints offense, getting Darren Sproles back this week, which is big against the 49ers because of the stout front seven. But I'm going to go with the 49ers for this game. I was thinking about the Saints all week, but seeing that Kaepernick's going to start and what game plan they're going to go with, I think the Saints will have a trouble, big time stopping him because he's got a running threat, and they struggle against mobile quarterbacks, as you saw in the beginning of the season. This is the first game I think they played in a while against a scrambling quarterback. I think they might have played the Panthers. No, I don't think they had played the Panthers yet, but they struggled big time against Cam Newton in RG3 the first 2 weeks. They're a different team right now on defense, but I believe they're struggling against Kaepernick. I'm going to go with the 49ers. The Saints still have playoff hopes. They easily could beat the Falcons and change the whole game. But after this loss, it's going to be a tough time. They're going to have to win out because the NFC is pretty strong. So now I'm going to rush through these picks because time is running low. Terrible Monday night this week, and another terrible Monday night next week. I think it's Panthers versus Jets, but I'll get to it. The 3-6-1 Rams versus the 4-6 Cardinals. I'm gonna go with the Rams in this game. A lot of people were like they're gonna beat the Jets. They didn't. They got no, help with that offensive line. I'm gonna go with the Rams. So I believe the Cardinals. They do get Beanie Wells back this week, but they still don't have Kevin Cobb. He is their best quarterback at the moment. He won't be back for weeks. So I'm going to take the Rams with this one. Next, the 7-3 Packers versus the 6-4 Giants. I believe the Packers will win this game. They have too much on offense for the Giants to handle. They've been struggling on defense. And Eli's going to have to throw all game, and we know his arm has not been the greatest, but he said it's moved to being the normal arm he had the whole season. Monday night game, Panthers. Terrible Monday night game. I probably will not watch it. If I do, it's because Jonathan Stewart needs to do something in fantasy. So that is it for this week's predictions video. I hope you guys enjoyed. All of the links are below. Twitter, subscribe button. I always say that. You should always know that. Comment below on any predictions you have that thought were wrong or terrible. I don't know. Just comment. But that is it, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow with the Walking Dead video.